Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis. Up top, for I believe it will be the final time for this particular season, is Michelle Nash. How are you doing, Michelle?
Oh, I'm doing so good. So good. Yeah, finally it's over. Although honestly, watching this episode, I was like, is it going to end? Because one thing would happen, like one thing would break out of an argument, and then there'd be like coming up, and then there'd be 10 years of commercials. So really, they just had to really stretch it out. But all in all, there were some good moments. Like there were some moments that I appreciated, we'll say.
Me too. Me too. I mean, I definitely have been watching a lot of the old seasons. And so just watching the reunion, I'm enjoying it a little bit more for whatever reason, because I guess I'm getting good, the challenge content, that this is like, it's just a little bit more food. So we also have, of course, with us is Fanta. How are you doing tonight, Fanta?
Oh my God. I've been called.
You have been called.
I'm doing well. I share a lot of the same sentiment. I had a couple of moments where I laughed out loud at this reunion, and I think overall I was like, yeah, you know what? Like there's some people who like we've been watching for like over 10 years that we just love so much. And yeah, but other than that, the reunion was way too long.
What do we need 3 hours of content when all I really wanted to see was the scenes we haven't seen? That's it. That's all I wanted to see. And instead we had like probably an hour's worth of Fessy content between part 1 and part 2, and then everybody else. So should we just start with Fessy? Like I don't want to talk about him really after this ever again, but I'm sure that we're going to be talking about him. But should we just start with him and then hopefully not have to talk about him?
The Coles notes, I would say, like we want to move past the Fessy content. The Coles notes for me is like continuing on from last week. In this week, you know, we deal with, again, his ego and him thinking he's so great, how he called out CT, like all his little fights. And overall, what I liked, or sort of, about it was, you know, multiple people there were trying to explain to him so clearly, like, your problem is that you can't take a second to just humble yourself. AKA this, like when Corey even turns to him, he's like, it will literally help you. Like Corey figured out how to become a likable character. He was not a likable character before. He's just giving you advice. Like, dude, like take a moment. And even when he apologizes, it's not real. Like he needs to show like some vulnerability, which he doesn't ever. Some people sort of half-assedly support him. Like they're like, oh, you know, he was like Josh and stuff. They're like, yeah. But as a whole, everyone was just like, no, Fessy, no.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like I had a takeaway from it as well, where it was kind of like, okay, it isn't just a thing where everyone's like, I hate you so much. It's like, psst, we are making a reality show. And this reality show is meant to entertain people. What you are doing is not entertaining. And yeah, like you said, with Corey, it's just kind of like, hey, we're just giving you the heads up so that you don't look like shit for the next few seasons.
And he doesn't seem to get it still, which is what I guess my biggest problem with Fessy is like, I can take, like, this is like, CT is actually who he should be learning from specifically because, well, maybe, but like CT had a big ego, big attitude, getting into fights with people, like, but he did back it up many years. So that's the difference between him and Fessy so far. But if we look at just like these big braggadocious guys that think that they can take on anybody, CT, though, he did learn kind of the hard way with like punching so many people out and being kicked off the show many times, that now he gets it. And so he should be, instead of just looking at clips of CT on the internet, he should be watching whole seasons of CT.
That was so offensive for him. Like, obviously, all of us know that he hasn't seen the season because if he did, things would be different. And he's like, oh, I actually went back and saw some clips and I gained some respect. First of all, like, fuck you. But second of all, you come into this is his second season being like, I deserve to be a challenge champion. I'm going to be a challenge champion. This is all I want. Like this, like he makes it seem as if it's so important to him and he wants to compete. but you want to compete in something that you didn't grow up with watching at all, and you're not even going to go try. Like after your first season, you got invited to it. You're like, what is this? Like you didn't go back and gain that respect and that and honor the history of the show. And then you want to say you want to be a champion of it, but why? You don't even understand how epic that is to be a challenge champion. He doesn't even know what it means, because to him, he thinks it's smashing someone in an elimination. Like, you know, he doesn't understand at all. So
I agree with that 110%. And what I think he thinks in his mind is like, he's like, oh, this is like a physical competition. Like I look at these people and I'm like, yeah, I could beat that person. I could beat that person. I'm bigger than that person. But you're right. He doesn't really look at it as what the challenge is. It's not. A lot of people have been saying, like, there's been this big argument about the challenge. And a lot of challenge fans have been saying, oh, it's a sport. And then a lot of challenge fans have been like, no, it's not a sport. Like this is what signifies a sport. You know, you've got leagues, you've got your referees, blah, 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 all that stuff. And weight classes, like the challenge is not a sport. So that's what he thinks in his head. He's like, oh, it's like a sport and I have a shortcut to win.
Well, and also like, this is what frustrates me as well, is that, okay, if you are going to be at the top of your game as an NFL, like football player or whatever, some sort of athlete, you would have been watching plays, like different, like epic, like, you know, Tom Brady doing this and like all these epic moves and seeing people how they played the game in the past. You wouldn't just come on as like new guy, even if you're the number one draft pick for the whole whatever seasons, however we talk about this stuff. But like, even if you're the number one draft pick across all of the different teams, you wouldn't go in there just being like, I'm the number one draft pick, I'm the best, I can't learn from anybody else. And anybody that's like, Tom Brady's 40 years old. So are you saying that like, oh, because I'm younger than Tom Brady, like that I'm better than him? And like, it doesn't matter what he's done in the past. And like, I've only watched some clips. Like he would have done his homework if he was going to be playing in the NFL. So why is he not then, if he's considering it to be a sport, taking the same sort of education to be a better player? And so that's what annoys me about him the most, is that he just thinks it's just like fast track to money. And it really, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So we have some friends with us. Go ahead.
The first thing to say is that it is fast track, but you're right. Like when it comes to football, like if you've ever known like professional athletes, they eat, breathe, sleep. Like that's what they do. They're not just watching clips. They're watching like, oh, like Packers and Steelers, like 1996 game.
That game, oh, that move, like yeah, X's and O, like it's things that they talk about. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hi, Liz.
Podcast, as we know.
Hi, Liz.
Yeah.
Hi, Carolyn. We will miss Leroy. We'll be talking a lot about him, I'm sure, shortly. How do we feel about Josh at the reunion? Oh, we'll get to Josh. Real World Flashback. I want it back on. I do think that they're playing some seasons on Paramount Plus. Am I right there? I know that they have a few.
Yeah, I think they do have a few.
They have one of the older Real World Las Vegas, I believe. I don't know if they have the one that Leroy is on, though. I'm actually really confused on why the cast is so quiet. It feels like Devin is the one person who calls Fessy out.
I don't know. I sort of feel like more people were arguing in like against what he was saying, but I feel like everyone's probably just kind of over it. And I don't know. I feel like people did, but they maybe just don't really care so much. Like they don't want to give him more attention than he's already getting.
Well, and it's also like, it's not really fun to try to drill your point like to somebody that's not getting it. It's just kind of like, it's tiring and exhausting.
They tried for, I mean, I'm sure like, okay, so what, this reunion, it ended up being 3 hours, but I'm sure they had to film it for like over 5, maybe 6 hours. And you can tell throughout the entire reunion, people are just like, there's so many times where like one person would just be like, no, Fessy, like you don't get it. And then they would like try to re-explain it. And then somebody else would be like, no, it's not the same. Like, no. And then like do that. So it's like, yeah, like you could tell they were all really tired by it. And I mean, it was really interesting, like with the whole thing, like with like we start with Nelson, and Nelson like talking about the betrayal of it all. And it's really interesting because you think like all throughout the challenge, you think of like big betrayals and like things like that. And Nelson, like I can't believe we like Nelson now. Like it was just very scary.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. But yeah, it was just like really interesting. Like he just like wrapped it in, like Nelson wrapped it in a ribbon really nicely and was just like, yeah, it was like really shitty because like we were really good friends. And then Fessy's like, wait, we weren't. This is what happened. And like,
okay, do you guys want to know what this business opportunity was? Because that's what I'm curious about. Like, what was the business opportunity that Nelson presented to Fessy that Fessy said yes about and then pulled out of, and then they didn't talk for 3 months? That's the tea. Anybody
like, it was just so weird because then, like, yeah, what you're saying, Fanta, like, suddenly Fessy brings that up. And it's so awkward and uncomfortable. And at the end of the day, you made a deal before the thing started that you were going to have each other's back. And then you betrayed him in the worst kind of way, which is that you did it knowing that you'd be able to beat him in this exact elimination. You knew it was going to be him and you gave him zero warning. And yes, you decided last minute, but you decided last minute because you saw it was Hall Brawl. And you were being selfish. And yeah, he sort of like acknowledges it, but he doesn't really actually take the accountability. Like, I just want to see him have any kind of emotion. As you said, it's a reality show. Like, we saw Amber B, who like cried when she had her thing with Amber M, right? And even though like Amber B did lie and was in the wrong, the fact that she emoted and was like, I care, like this is what I'm here for, whatever, that makes you like her more because she opens up. Fessy just refuses to do that. And it just gets worse and worse every single moment that I have to watch him.
Yeah,
you know what? It's the key to everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, instead of it, you're right. Like the point is that they need to be making stories, right? And the thing that's like especially frustrating with that is like every little thing that comes up, he just justifies. Instead of like turn it into a story, then make a choice. Like either like completely like because you look at like with Ashley and Nelson, for example, in the first part when they had like their fight and then they like wrapped it up and they like made a story. There was like an arc and everything. And they were like, okay, it's done. But like to have 2 reunion episodes like go over and it's just all the same shit that's being rehashed over and over again and him not realize that is really lame. But it was interesting to see like Nelson just be like, yeah, like, okay, he's a good dude. Like, whatever, I forgive him. But I will never trust him again. And you buy Nelson's side of the story more. Yep. Like you very like plain and like straightforward about it. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see like moving forward, like how Fessy is going to link up with people because everyone's lit him up.
So just to piggyback on what Michelle was saying, though, as I think the biggest key here and takeaway is that the vulnerability is what is really missing from Fessy. And I think that was a really amazing point to look at. And that's what we've turned to love about all these people that have done some terrible things. They've been not the greatest people, CT being one of them, Wes being one of them. Like Nani's they've all done terrible things, but then they're also a lot more open in who they are, and they actually are letting us in. And we learn this as actors. You gotta open your heart and let people in, because nobody cares to watch somebody, a Teflon actor. You want to see things affect you. You want to see when people are hurt or when they're angry or why they're angry, where they're coming from. And you're right, he's Teflon man. And nobody cares about him. He's just a big ego over there that doesn't care about anybody but himself. And it's not enjoyable to watch. So I think that the vulnerability factor, I think that's like 100% what is killing Fessy on the show. And that's what usually kills an actor. So we're making a TV show, and that's what's ruining his chances of being a champion or likable. It's just not likable. It's the worst. Hi, Adrian. Hi, ladies. Sorry I missed last week. P.S. The Challenge 37 is back to filming. I think I kind of heard that. They have a whole new slew of a cast. I have to go look again. I don't know who anybody is anymore.
hold on. I think I had it here. But
Josh. Oh gosh, should we talk about Josh a little bit now? I'm sure we'll end up going back to Fessy a little bit because he still has some more stuff that's annoying. But Josh is another person that he starts like defending Fessy and then defending Amber B and then not defending Amber B, and like he's just like really loves his camera time, and it's quite tiring as well.
Yeah, it was tiring, and he just like, you could see how embarrassed he was to even watch his own fight or whatever with CT on the camera and stuff. And it's like, he continues to do that. And he's just such an emotional player always. And I don't like him. I'm bored by him. I'm annoyed by him, but I'm much less annoyed by him than I am by Fessy. Because again, there's some emotion there. You see where it's stemming from. And he also at some points acknowledges his error.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does. Everybody does. And that's the thing that I found in general, like, to be so humanizing about this reunion is like, it just, I don't know, I guess it just occurred to me for the first time. I was like, damn, like, we've been watching these people for so long, and they've really been, like, they even said at one point, they're like, our bodies are 100% before we do this, and like, we ruin our bodies for this show. Right? So I've got we could talk about the cast list for season 37, but I have it whenever.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end. We're kind of looking towards the future. So just a little bit more about Josh. As somebody, I don't remember who I was listening to, but they were saying that the best thing that could have happened to Josh's image was Fessy came on and was more unlikable than Josh's. But then they're like, but this could be a problem because Josh is obsessed with negative attention. So he might try to one-up Fessy now and do something just even more annoying than Fessy to get back to be, he wants to be the most hated. Like, he needs to be like, the top of something. And so what, Fessy's going to be the most hated now? Like, he might like one-up Fessy. So I thought that was kind of funny. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Josh is going to try to one-up Fessy to become the most hated again?
I think that Josh just needs to like one up, and like, he just needs to be the loudest voice in the room at all times. Yeah. And the thing that's like annoying is that he makes it a thing where it's like, it's always about loyalty with him, like he'll be like doing something, like when they talked about the fight that they had over like the frozen pizza and like Casey and everything, like he was just like, yeah, I just, whatever it was, like, I was just like there to defend her. And it's like, yes, but you didn't garner any information from the situation. Like, you just started yelling. Not fun or entertaining, and like, but he's just like, yeah, like, I'm loyal. I'll do anything for her. And I'm like, no, that's just being annoying.
So annoying. Oh God. Fessy is in love with himself. Also, I think Fessy has a secret crush on Casey. Really? Josh. Fessy has sister wife with Casey. Something is not right. Maybe. So. Okay, maybe she likes, like, if I'm gonna entertain this a little bit, maybe he does love Casey because she's not into him, and he doesn't have to feel like he needs to be something or like be like show off that he's like a sexy guy. Like, he just can be more himself, maybe, and so maybe he's not threatened by Casey as a potential love interest that he has to put on some sort of act. So maybe that's why he gravitates towards her. We'll give that a go. Fessy didn't do homework on either Big Brother or The Challenge. He just wants the camera time, really. Yeah, it's whack, to be honest. And that's what I believe it was Bananas and Wes were talking about. The difference between old school and new school is that old school was there for the good times and the competition and the reunion. Like, they were there for the show and making great TV and being called back because they added to the show. And the new people think that making good TV is fights and that they're going to get Instagram followers and fame and success. So the motives for the people going on the show are completely different. And that's why we're getting a vapid representation of the show that we're not necessarily engaged in, because before they were all vulnerable, all showing their bumps and warts and like everything about them, and with abandon. And now everybody's like, oh, my image, oh, what people are going to say to me on Twitter. And so that's the difference. I think it's like pre and post social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Social media is ruining the challenge, but not all stars. Not all stars. They actually filmed this over 2 days. Get out of here! Oh my god, it's so boring. Like for them, like
that's why they look so miserable,
right? And it was 12 hours both days because COVID protocols and breaks that they had to take on and Zoom stuff, and it took 2 days. Wow. I mean, I guess I can understand that because they would only probably be allowed to do like 2 hour stints before they had to have like a break separate with masks on. They probably, you know what I mean? There's like this whole mask on, mask off, in a certain amount of time you can be together without masks. So yeah, I can see it taking actually longer than maybe 6 hours, but that would be annoying. So yeah, I'm sure everyone was over Fessy and trying to get their points through. Yeah, he just doesn't accept anything. But Devin, I thought, was pretty funny. I loved his one time he said, yeah, humble pie and some intestines. I was like, he won't eat either of them. He will not eat either. Any other great Devinisms that you want to share?
I mean, Devin was just he's just a very entertaining guy, and like gives us like what we want to hear. He like had that like ridiculous song about Nietzsche and Amber that he sung, that he wrote and he sung, which was really funny. Yeah, I mean, Devin was just great. I feel like Devin was like, besides like Leroy's story, I feel like Devin was like the best part of the reunion.
Yeah, because he like doesn't take himself too seriously, which has always been the thing we like about him. And he really has made a name for himself because he just, I don't know, the way he calls things out, it's like real and factual, but it's also like all a joke. And he doesn't really care. And he doesn't have that ego. Like he's like, yeah, I say I'm gonna do something and then sometimes I fuck up. Great. So what's the story? At least I'm a self-aware person who like is real. Like it's reality TV.
Mm-hmm. Not like what mask I'm gonna put on TV.
Yeah, we want to see ridiculous levels of like, this is what we're asking for. And like, I know that not everyone can fulfill that, but then you shouldn't be on the show.
Not at all. And that's another thing too with that, you know, with Fessy not even recognizing even CT's legacy. Is like, I'm watching right now Rivals. And CT, spoiler alert, guys, just gets eliminated with shut up, Fanta. You know you've seen it probably twice. But he just gets eliminated with it. But he's still like, people were coming for him every season. And he kept on winning, or like they would throw him in and he'd come back out. Like he worked to get that title, and he didn't always win. And so it's not only about the win with these legends, it's about what they've done, their body of work this whole way through. And so he doesn't seem to get that. He thinks that like, I broke someone's finger, that means I'm a legend. No, babe. It's the scenes with DM in the duel. It's like it's losing and becoming friends again with Adam after like he loses together, and like Adam's so devastated, and CT, this bad boy playing with his rival, is still not even like coming down on him as hard as he's came down on Casey or any of his other partners in the season. So if he just watched it, maybe he would get some understanding.
Yeah, I don't understand like why you wouldn't watch all of it.
It's so good.
It's baffling to me. It's absolutely baffling to me. Because I know that there have been some competitors, obviously, like in the new crop that haven't watched. And I know like sometimes it could be like a thing having to do with region, but also like you can get anything on the internet. But yeah, I was just like, how would you? And how do you admit it? You admit you only watched clips?
And then also, like, if you haven't watched it all, you don't come in and act like you know everything. That's either also the main switch. If we have a rookie who's like, yeah, I got cast on the show, and like, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I might not root for you as much because you're not a fan, but you could still be like, oh, I'm trying to figure out this game, and we could ride for that storyline. But what we can't ride for is someone who hasn't done his research, doesn't care, doesn't watch everything, and then claims this is what I meant to do, is be a challenge champion. You don't even know what that is. You don't even understand. If you haven't seen Rivals, if you haven't seen at least a Fresh Meat, if you haven't seen Hot Mess, which was Cutthroat, like, you don't know what the challenge is. You just don't.
At all. Like just because I'm watching it back and I'm like, what these people have got, like CT was the guy that they were trying to throw in and get out. You know what I mean? Like, so like he had to overcome so many things, and Fessy just doesn't get it. And it's just so obnoxious. Hi, Zach. So Zach says, okay, what do we think about Fessy saying CT is still overrated? That he's just a hater, and maybe he's trying to build a storyline hoping that there's like a Rivals 4.
I like the sounds of that. Them as a combo, like.
No, I mean, I don't think that they could do that because CT and him would probably win, and he would think it's because of him. Yeah. Right? So I just can't have them do that. They need to do that, since now he's a challenge vet, right? He's done 3 seasons now, or he's done 2. It'll be his 3rd season.
Yeah. Right.
So if this season, it seems as though it's USA versus like the world. So it's kind of like a world of the world thing. But I also think it's newbie or rookie and vet. So it could be a vet that is from the UK or a rookie from the UK, and same with the US. I think that that's what they're doing so they can combine everybody. So he's going to be considered a vet. And so he's going to have to be like shaping some newbie. It's probably going to be a girl that he's going to think is cute. Maybe they're going to date or something like that. But like, I don't see him getting to the end with just anybody. I wonder, oh man, can we just pray that whoever's the worst in the challenge goes directly to the crater or whatever it is?
Oh, that'd be great. I love when that happens.
It's just delightful. Like, and even that, you see Kenny in Rivals, whichever one I'm watching, Rivals 1, like he went into the duel so many times, like, or what is it called there? I don't remember what it's called right now. The arena. Like so many times, like he lost. He was the worst. He fell in. He DQ'd. Like he wasn't the best, and he still came out on top. And so it's just like the fact that he hasn't seen people fail and then win. You know what I mean? Or like not do the best and not just win everything. I just like he just needs some depth. He's just vapid. He needs depth.
Agreed.
Depth. I love that Amber V defended herself because she's playing the game.
Oh my God, that whole part was so annoying.
Yeah.
I hate that she had to even defend herself. Like, how many things did people do in this game? Like, Leroy did Kyle so dirty. Like, everybody lied to Kyle, like, flat out. And I was like, in general, I was just really annoyed with Amber M. She did not have reunion at all. Like, she was just like popping off. It was just not, I was just like, stop talking. She was super annoying. And the way that she was going after Amber V was like so dumb. I was like, bitch, like, shut up. You were going after a champion now. Like, shut your mouth. You have nothing to say to her. She literally.
Yeah, it's just like, we're done at this point. You don't need to.
So like, useless. Like, I mean, I guess they cut it off pretty quick, but Amber V didn't need to say shit. She won.
I mean, I think this is all that she needed to do if she wants to sacrifice or save any of the friendships that she had, and just to make them feel better. And just be like, I'm really sorry that I did what I felt I needed to do to win this game. And I'm really sorry that in that case, I ended up lying to you. I'm sorry that I had to do that, but I did what I felt I needed to do to get to the end, and in this case, win. So I'm sorry that you're a casualty of my path.
And she kind of did, though.
Like, but she didn't do it in a way, though, that was like, it just kind of sounded whiny. She didn't really own it fully. And the tears, like, I'm appreciative that she was becoming emotional, but I don't think she nailed it, though. I don't think she said it in a definitive way that could not be, like, people coming back at her and be like, but no. Like, if she just said it cold-hearted, like, facts, this is how I played my game. I'm sorry you were the casualty of it. This is what I had to do to get to the end and win. They wouldn't be able to come at her at anything else. And so she just was kind of apologetic in a way that seemed kind of wishy-washy, not fully owning it. And so I think that that's why they didn't really like buy it.
Yeah, I mean, she'll learn.
She was just kind of being this like apologetic about it, you know? So I get why they weren't sold by it. You know what I mean? Because it didn't seem like she was fully confident in her response.
Yeah.
I think she'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, it's her first challenge. She won. This is the first time that she's had to lie and backstab people that she doesn't really know that well. So she could also even have said that and be like, listen, like, I said what I needed to say to you guys in the moment. I'm sorry that I lied. I should have owned up to what I said in the moment. I'm sorry that your feelings are hurt for it. In the future, I will be more cognizant of your feelings and I will let you know. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet Fessy made excuses at the end and goes, oh, sorry if I hurt anyone's feelings. I can't even with him. What was the last thing he said?
Yeah, that last thing he said at the end, he's like, oh, by the way, also, yeah, like.
Yeah, he just had to get that last word in there just to be like his just like a last ditch attempt at PR to be like, oh, everyone's like, because it was very heartwarming and everyone was like, we all love each other and da-da-da. Oh, by the way, like, I'm sorry, like nobody hates me.
If I hurt anybody, I apologize.
Like, I don't want to look bad. Please. That's all it was.
He's legit obsessed with CT. I think that it's like, he's like such a shiny object, right? Like CT probably comes in with an air of confidence, which he's earned. And people treat him in a certain way that he probably wants to be treated like. And he thinks it's only because he's won some challenges. And it's the legacy of CT. Do your homework and you'll get it a lot better, Fessy. And you wouldn't need to be jealous. You could be like, oh man, he's been through some stuff that he's shared on TV that people respect.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Jose. Do you actually think that Leroy is retiring? Yeah, let's talk about Leroy a little bit. Obviously, I loved all the clips that they had for Leroy. I wish they had more of this stuff, like even when he did really well in Rivals. And I love that I'm watching this episode. So every episode I'm talking about the one that I've just been watching. But you know, him and Mike did super well.
So cute, him and Mike.
I wish like they showed a little bit more of that. Like I was like, they did him a little bit dirty when they showed him like miss the jump to the car and he like does like an awkward fall into the water. I was like, come on, like you don't have to like end it on him like flailing.
I agree. I was like, y'all didn't have to show that. That was
those jerks.
That was very much. But I loved the montage of like everyone like saying like their goodbye messages to Leroy, and I love how they were like, we'll see you back in a few years. Like
I really don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think maybe he might do All Stars, but I do really believe that the challenge has probably done quite a number on his body.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting a sense of.
I believe that he believes right now that he would never come back. But sometimes there's a nice little like, hey, we'll give you $100,000 if you make an appearance on this season and it's a potential to win $1 million. Like you don't say no to that easily. You know what I mean? So,
and I mean, they were saying too, like they were like, well, Teresa took 7 years off and she said she was completely done. And like Teresa had like a full-on family.
Yeah, but I don't think Teresa's ever coming back for real now.
Oh,
and she didn't say I'm retiring when she left after Free Agents.
But we don't know. Like, we don't know if she said that to like
fair
somebody, because they were kind of like insinuating that like, oh yeah, Teresa said like she was done or whatever. But I mean, anything could happen, really. But I think that, he just needs to like.
He needs some time away to miss it, because like this has been part of his life. You know, you end up missing these people. You miss that energy. You miss the vibe of it. Like, you know, Michelle and I have played some of these online reality games, and like they're kind of fun. And then you get like a certain like energy from them that is a little bit addictive, and like you kind of want that experience again. It's like high pressure, high stakes, like it's an adrenaline rush that lasts a long time, and so you might still be craving that if you don't get that in your life. He might want something that it makes him feel alive, and so I can see after a while him wanting, maybe he'll find something else, but him missing that experience. And so I believe right now he's never coming back, but I can definitely see 5 years from now, if the timing is right, I can see him making an appearance, and it'll be like, whoa, Leroy is back, and we're all gonna be like, what? Oh my god, this is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's also making an opportunity for an epic return, right? I just got goosebumps thinking about it. So I don't know. I think he might be laying the storyline down for future if he were to come back to make it epic, right? Yeah, absolutely. Like him and Cam get married and then they come back as like, they come like partners or something. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what MTV would do to lure them back in?
Anything. MTV, I'm sure they've hidden bodies for people.
I mean, probably. I mean, they definitely hid some, court documents.
Yeah,
but yeah, with the Leroy thing though, we talk about Wes and Bananas and CT knowing how to craft their storyline and recognizing what's going to make good TV and what the producers want from them. They're really good at that. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Leroy was just laying this down so he has something to, choose your own adventure later on to pick that piece up, because it's never finished. I had an acting coach once say that, if you ever die in like a TV show or whatever, try not to die with your eyes closed. Like, they kind of leave them open so that, like, if they had the last cut on you, they don't know if you're actually dead for sure. So if they ever want to make you stay alive, your eyes aren't closed, so you can pretend to be. I just thought that was funny, but it's kind of like setting yourself up for later down the road to potentially have a storyline be enacted. So I thought it was funny. Okay, why wasn't Teresa at the new reunion? Good question. She probably hates everybody.
Yeah, because everyone is so mean to her.
And they were really mean about her at the reunion.
Yeah, that whole part of the reunion, I was like, why? Like, I don't understand. Like, I get that, like, I mean, I love Nani, but at the same time, I was like, bitch, like, you're still holding on to this beef from like 7 years ago. A bunch of you called her toxic. She was just playing the game. Like, she had nobody to play with. All of you did similar things to what she did.
That's the thing.
She's a pariah. I was like, this is dumb. And yes, one more thing. Sorry. She is right. There's a lot of chunks of the season that were not that entertaining. Teresa knows how to make TV.
I agree with you. And I knew Teresa wasn't going to be there just because I felt like at this point, she doesn't need the money. She can break her contract. She's never going to go back. She's fucking done. They ostracized her so much to the point that she had to work with the rookies, who then also kind of ostracized her because the other people got them against her. So she had nobody. She never owed any of them anything. She hadn't spoken to any of them in over 7 years. So why is it such a big deal that they lied about this one betrayal and put in Ashley versus Cam? That's not really like as crazy of a thing as like when they threw in Wes super early, when Anissa threw in Wes and all these things. Like, she lied about it. Okay, cool. Like, Kyle has lied a million times. Everyone has lied. And I didn't like how much they were saying, like, you're good if you've never lied. Like, that's so stupid. That's like, you're never going to win any of these reality shows, especially Big Brother, Survivor, this, like, without lying to some degree. Like, Teresa tried to work with people who were not really working with her. And she made a choice to try to get a strong female out. She put up 2 females who would be contenders to beat her in the end. And yeah, it bit her in the ass. You don't have to kick her while it's already like, she already got out in a painful way with an injury. Like, you don't need to, I felt like they were just kind of tearing her because she wasn't there.
Yeah, I agree. I hated that. Was like,
Ashley jumping on the bandwagon too. Like, I know that she. Go ahead.
that was so lame. And that's the thing. I was like, especially you, Ashley, like, you know what it's like to have like people just like,
yeah,
to this degree, like, for what?
She said, is she really that mad just that she lied to Ashley about the fact that Ashley got the votes? Because like, that's the only thing I can think of. Because Ashley was saying, she's like, yeah, I wasn't surprised about Teresa, but I was surprised about Jay because everyone knows Teresa's this. What do you mean everyone knows Teresa's this? Like, how many seasons have you actually played with her, if at all? And like
0 seasons with her.
Your impression of her in the short time you were on this season,
from what Nani has said, probably
is what Nani has told you. Of course, because there's nobody else who has that kind of knowledge of her. The guys don't care enough to gossip about it. They probably are just like, they're more self-centered anyways. But like there's no way for Ashley to know, oh, she's always this. Like, I love Ashley, don't get me wrong, but her opinion of Teresa and the fact that she still kind of like half stands Fessy are both things that I just like cannot get behind with her. Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever, for sure. So yeah, we're thinking, Jose, that she probably was like, fuck the contract. I don't need to go and sit on that reunion to have everybody like not hear me out and just attack me. She's probably just like, it's really not worth it to me. And I'm sure that were okay with it. Like, I don't think that they are going to sue her for not going on the, like, was Wes there?
No, there were a lot of people that weren't, like Lolo.
Oh, well, Lolo can never come back, and I'll be very excited. Should we talk about all the makeouts? Anissa smooching Big T and Amber M. Ashley's kissing Fessy and Big T. And what was the last one? Those other two.
Well, Anissa, Ashley looked at, sorry?
Michi and Amber.
Oh, Michi and Amber.
Oh,
and
right,
Amber
Amber.
And Amber and Anissa.
Who cares? Michi and Amber, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it was a big like, okay. Yeah. And they showed it for a while too. I was like, are we? What are you want her to be the next Nani? Like what? Like what's the deal? Like what are you trying to do here, MTV? We don't care.
There's nothing. Don't care. There's nothing to extract from Amber M.
Other than that, she's really annoying. But I liked her like the poofy red dress. Like I like the cut of the top of it. You didn't like it?
No.
Well, because it was on her, but if I was wearing it, you'd think it was fire. Lisby says, yes, that's exactly. Fessy is Teflon Man, and he hides his feelings, and so hidden behind the Teflon, you get nothing from him. Yes. He's the worst person to be. They're in partnership. They're scene partners here, and he gives nothing. He's the worst. Fire him. Fessy not showing his emotion is because of cultural differences. Then if it's cultural differences, wouldn't his culture say that reality TV wouldn't be the best place for you to be employed? You know what I mean? If that's where we're looking at him through that lens, like then culturally he shouldn't be on the show.
His drinking and making out with all of those women. I don't buy that.
I don't really buy it personally,
I have a lot of Muslims in my family, and they are emotional people. So
and humble, probably.
Yes, much more
kind, maybe humble,
kind,
self-reflective,
multifaceted.
Oh, right. Oh, real people. They're real. Right. Okay, yeah. For Tasha, who I don't know who Tasha is, who is rumored to be on the next season, is so far the most trending rumored rookie cast member, more than Michaela, and her fan base Titans are huge in Nigeria. I did hear that was someone that was super huge. I just didn't know who they were, or I don't care yet. So hopefully I'll care, but I don't know. Like maybe she's a real big hit on Instagram, but like, is she going to be fun on my TV? I don't know. They don't necessarily have to go, and Teresa is pregnant. No need to risk her with COVID. Right, but she didn't come on the actual Zoom call either. So I think it's just because she didn't feel like being attacked.
Yeah, if I were her, I wouldn't have done that.
I probably wouldn't have gone either. And I thought her toddler comment, why are they so offended by the toddler comment? Like, like saying her toddlers are more entertaining? They probably are.
Like, that's not the craziest shade to throw. Like,
I just really think they were just so like, I think Nani is really the one that like spearheaded all of that. And I think just like, she's just so much years of like pent up like anger against Teresa. And she basically just like made everybody else feel the same way. That's genuinely what I feel. And I think that, so many people have said like way worse things. And they were just all so like butthurt, but like being loyal to Nani. They know Nani. They don't really know Teresa.
Yeah. Like after, I don't know what it was yesterday or today, but Kids Say the Darndest Things was a TV show that was on after either the Challenge or the Big Brother or something like that. And so toddlers are entertaining. They say the darndest things. There's TV shows that are made about toddlers and the silly things they do. You go on TikTok and people get TikTok famous for like their babies saying like big words. Like toddlers are very entertaining. So for them to be so upset, I was just like eye roll. Like you guys are so annoying
to me. Like Chantel's just like, listen, toddlers are entertaining. And this day, I will. Going for it.
But I mean, like they just need to look at it through a different lens, you know? Like their bitter lens is like not seeing the big picture here. Like toddlers are fucking funny. Fanta, can you share the cast list for 37? Is there anything else about the show? I guess we can, whatever. Let's go. Let's hear it.
It's over. I thought you'd never ask. Here we go. Okay, so filming has resumed.
Okay.
And we've got, here's who we have. We have 30 of the 34. So I think there's like 4 that are, it's kind of a question mark. Okay. Amanda, CT, Fessy, Tommy from Survivor, Anissa, Nelson, Corey, Nani, Casey, Josh, Michelle from Survivor, Devin, Tori, Kyle, Nam, Big T, and then we have Kel from Too Hot to Handle.
Okay.
Natasha, like we were just talking about, she was from Big Brother Nija. And then we have, there's a lot of, okay, now we're getting into the
we don't know.
Yeah. Corey Lay from 12 Dates of Christmas. Logan Sampedro from Survivor Spain. Huey Mahan, I'm butchering these names, from Big Brother UK. Mark Byron is an alternate.
Who's that?
I don't know. And Amber B is still an alternate, I think.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know like how concrete all of this is, because they're still like, they're wanting there to be 34. But there's like 30.
20 or minus 2 alternates.
Yeah. And then, yeah, there's just like a ton of, got a ton of rookies here.
Is there more? Does it say where they're from?
Let me see. But like, it's just, the thing is like, this is the most recent list. But yeah, there's just a lot has changed. So we don't know, like, because before Big T wasn't on it, and then now they're saying that she is. But before they were saying Jay was, but he's not still. And before they said Wendell was, but now he's not. She's not still.
Mm.
So that might change. Like there's other ones, but like those ones came out like a week ago, like other lists, but those ones came out like weeks ago.
Well, I saw the 30, the 34 one. I just saw the pictures, and so I was like, oh, there's a whole page of people I don't know, but okay, I know those people. So
yeah, there's like that whole page of people. Like but I did read some of the people.
I mean, I think I might go do a little watchy of like Survivor Spain to see how he did on that season. I'll watch, if I haven't seen already, that Big Brother UK. I'll watch it just to like know them, because that's one thing that made me not despise like when Bear came along before we knew how deplorable he is as a human being. But like, I didn't mind him coming in because I'm like, oh, I saw him on Big Brother. I saw him on a couple other I think it was on X on the Beach, or Ashley was on X on the Beach, and so was Joss, and so I just had seen them on shows already. So like, it wasn't so like abrupt just having these new people that I have no idea what they're like. And so yeah, I'm gonna do maybe a watch just so I can be rooting for somebody instead of it just being like really getting to know them, and probably not getting to know them because they're not going to be driving the story most likely, because it's going to be the vets, you know?
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, there will always, like, one thing is like rookies, there are always rookies who will shine through. Like, look at Nom.
I'm so happy he's coming back.
We thought he would be. I put a little star beside it.
Chance. He deserves a chance to like be the beast master that he is, or whatever he is.
Wasn't he so sweet when he was tearing up, even thinking about it? She is crushing.
I said blushing.
Blushing.
Oh, no.
She was like, like the beast master that he is.
Did you love it when he was tearing up, or the fact that like, when he had to leave and he really wanted to be there? Sweet angel, isn't he? Love seeing the Heights montage. There's lots of montages. This like the Anissa montage was also great. And like Fessy, like this actor just like you've won 3, okay? Anissa's won now 11, okay? So what does that have to say to you, Fessy? She's won way more than you have. She's way more experienced than you are. Can you give her maybe like a real applause if you're going to do it, or just like don't applause at all? Like just like waste. He's a waste man.
A waste.
So back to Teresa. Literally, Darrell and Teresa said, "I don't need to be here for this drama," and I respect that. Well, exactly. That's kind of like why we didn't necessarily care to watch it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But maybe it's because we knew that we're going to be talking about it, so it wasn't like we're just being entertained by it. We were like looking for things to like be annoyed by and talk about. So
so funny,
Darrell.
Yes,
I love him.
He's such a funny dude. Like he's just always had like a big helping of I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's great for that.
Yeah.
Darrell is still on Zoom. True. But,
I love how he was like, because people were trying to give him shit for like not playing with CT.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you guys shut up. I was just like,
you weren't there. You don't know what's happening. Like, look what he did. He was plotting against me. Like, come on. I mean, I did want him to work together, though. I was one of those people, but I got it. Also, no Michi or Lolo. Like, thank you. Like, no need to see them. Glad Gabby was part of it. I love her. I need to see more of her. I do too. I thought that she's quite pretty. Who did she roll her eyes about? Oh, it was Amber M. I was like, oh, don't even like pretend.
Amber B.
It was Amber
B. I was Amber B because she like started crying.
Yeah, no. And so I can understand that too, is like some people do use tears for manipulation. And so if that's what maybe Gabby was perceiving of Amber M, like yeah. I would probably give an eye roll too. Be like, oh, here comes the waterworks to try to, move us emotionally.
I really wish we could have Gabby back. She's just like the realest bitch. She's just so down to earth and like so smart and so nice to look at. It's just like it's
the combo.
no-brainer.
She was really great on, like, you would have liked her a lot on Love Island. I really liked her. She was like dating like the only black guy that was on there, and they dated for a long time after Marcel, and like they were just like this like fit couple. Yeah, it was great. Why do you think y'all think the cast reacting to Teresa? I really just thought it was kind of lame, a little bit bitter boots for no reason. It's kind of like they're telling people to like grow up and you should know better and you should do this and do that, but then like they're not even in the least like taking their own advice by like having some humility and maybe looking and be like, oh, okay, well, I understand that she was on her own and we weren't playing with her, so she was doing whatever she could to try to get to the end.
Exactly.
They just didn't like her, so they weren't going to give her any respect. Oh no, Survivor is delayed because the Fiji flights are banned. Ooh, I heard that. I thought I did hear that Survivor had started. I thought they had finished maybe 41 by now, but
I thought they had. Oh, I love Survivor. I miss it.
I'm like just dying for Survivor right now.
Some new Survivor content. Why do they hate on Teresa so much? She made a good game move. I know, Jose, it's just whack. I think that there's a little bit of a jealousy with Nani and Teresa. I mean, they're kind of similar. And I think that Teresa is a better competitor than Nani, and she's a better strategist than Nani. And so I think that there might be a little bit of jealousy there. That's my thought.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, Lord, I hope Fessy doesn't think he can find his own DM type to become CT. I'm going to vomit. It can't happen. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have it. Like,
yeah, he doesn't have it in him. Like, CT is so charming. And like, even back then when everyone was like, when he was just like such a scumbag, he was just like, the way that he treated DM was just like, that's what the Notebook is based off of. Everybody thinks the Notebook is based off of something else. It's actually based off of that. Know your facts, kids. Know your facts.
Oh my God, the scene from the Notebook, though, just talking about like the scenes that get me emotional, is at the end. Spoiler alert, guys. At the end, when you find out he's telling the story back to the love of his life because she doesn't remember anymore, and he's just trying to remind him about how much they love each other. It's so epic. So epic. Okay, how do we feel about Amber M? I've had enough. I do not watch her YouTube channel, even though sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get some tea. I'm just like, I don't like what she brings to the table.
And honestly, I actually really liked her on Are You the One? She was one of the people that I rooted for. And so it was kind of disappointing, but the challenge is not the right environment for her, I don't think. So
no, she was trying to bring like Are You the One energy.
Yeah, too much pop off. I don't care. Like, I do want the fights and the arguments, but I need it to be rooted in something, not just yelling. Like, I need it to be dynamic or I don't know. It's just it's not it. Whatever she's doing is not it. Amber M is fine, but I don't care to see her come back. Yeah,
I agree with that.
This phrase, Josh, was what is 9 times 8? Oh, Big Brother sucks. Never ever gets old. I know. What's 9 times 8? Big Brother sucks. And then mooning him against the window. Like, you're so ridiculous, Devin. Love you. Apparently, Amber B is not only very sensitive, but also went through a lot during the season. She's going to go emotional before logic, but I think she'll learn too. Yeah, I'm sure it's a high stress environment, and having people on you all the time when you're voting, like, it's definitely would be stressful, and I would probably be pretty emotional a lot of the times, like whether I'm lying or not lying. I think it would be high stress. So I get it.
Me too.
I can actually see Leo on All Stars. Yeah, I can see him coming back to the regular show in 5 years as like an epic return. That's my quote now. Hi, Mackenzie. I'm glad Amber B defended herself since the game and was focused on winning the money. I mean, all is fair in love and war, and the challenge, absolutely. And she should be able to say anything she wants now because she won. Her strategy worked. Her lies worked. What she did worked. She got to the end and she won. So I think that they can't say like, you should have done this, you should have this. Like, no. What I did got me to the end and I won.
Yeah, and again, I think it's a matter of the fact that Amber B is a woman, because nobody was saying that shit to CT, and CT pulled all of the same moves.
Like, no one talked about the fact that CT was lying about the Teresa thing. Like, he did say that shit to Teresa. He did say Darrell, whatever. They had that conversation, you know?
I don't know. Well, I mean, we know that that's a thing, that women don't get respect, and like women can't do the same things without being called snake and manipulative and disgusting, and like, and a guy does it like, ooh, he's such a mastermind. So it's just how women are perceived in competitive reality TV, which definitely needs to change. And, you know, we've talked about it before. Like, I'm realizing some of the things that my, you know, prejudgments on how I respect or don't respect somebody. And so, yeah, I think it's a learning, and I wish that Teresa, like, I just wish that people just allowed people to make some of these moves without saying that they're so horrible when they just didn't really do anything that bad. They're just a woman. Can you imagine if Lolo was at reunion? Did you see that TJ called out Lolo for being a sore loser? No, I don't remember seeing that. Natalie, tell me when. Also, there's been plenty of reunions that haven't been, have everyone having nothing to do with contracts necessarily, but because production doesn't necessarily want them there. That could be true too. I feel like they would want Teresa there, but I don't think that she wanted to be there. And so I think she was probably allowed to not be there. Oh, I looked at her up when she was on BB Naha, I'm not sure. Back in 2019, you're going to like her, okay? Who's going to draft her? She can bring the drama. And I have heard that it's not only a pair season, but also sort of American versus international players. Yeah, I did hear that.
I'm thinking. It makes sense.
War of the Worlds 3, Part 3. War of the Worlds Part 3, yeah. They should just make another rival season. If they cannot give Fessy a good partner, though, if they make a rival season. They have to give him somebody bad. So who bad could they give Fessy if they did a rivals?
I don't even care. I don't want them to be bad. I want them to be like medium, because you can take a medium person and bring them up, but he will bring them down. So I don't want to see him with someone so bad that he has a perfect excuse. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, of course.
I think he'll fail with anyone. I think he'll fail with the best person. I think he'd fail with Laurel. Like, honestly, like, he will not succeed with a person. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. And when I say bad, I just mean like not like somebody like CT. Like, I feel like maybe that's what he's trying to do, is like, I want to have a rival season with CT, and so that we'll go and dominate, and then I could be a champion too. But so I don't want someone like a CT or Darrell or somebody that can do it. Wes. So who maybe I could take him and Nelson doing a rivals. That's not bad.
Yeah. But yeah. If it was a girl, he could be paired with like a bunch of people.
Everyone. Oh, but I wouldn't want to like Nani to have him. That would
She wouldn't though, because their rivalry wasn't like a big enough deal. I feel like he'd be with Anissa before her. I
want Anissa to have a chance at winning and not have to hate her life, though. Yeah, I would like another rival season, though. The one that I'm watching right now is pretty interesting. I love it. Nam is coming back. Yes, so do we. Oh, Fessy. It's just a stank face while everyone's saying nice things about Anissa. I know. It's so whack. Amber B and KC, maybe even Josh, are probably the only BB players I wouldn't mind seeing on the challenge. Sorry, who? Again, but only if they learn from their past mistakes. I'll take Amber B. I don't need KC. I don't need Josh. I don't need either of them. Amber B, I could see her just like maybe getting her footing and learning how to play. That could be interesting to see. Maybe without her having Big Brother to like show her the ropes, but like actually not the good ropes. But yeah, I don't need to see Casey or Josh personally. Do you guys? No.
Yeah. No, I'm over them.
They both won 500 grand. They should be good. Like go infiltrate another show, please. Please.
Yes.
Darrell is so awesome. I love him. Do you guys think that he'll actually fight whichever of the Paul brothers? I think he will.
Ugh.
I don't know. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it, but I feel like they have so much more money than him. I don't know if I see it happening, but maybe. Be great because he'd make a bunch of money from that.
Yeah.
I hate them so much.
At least we got a finale for Big Brother Canada tomorrow and the Circle Round Table for tomorrow at RHAB. Yes, I'll be on the Circle Round Table for RHAB tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Is the Circle finale tonight?
I've already watched it, so yes.
I haven't watched the finale yet.
Okay, I'm not saying who it is. I'm just saying that I'm going to be talking on the finale round table. Okay.
So it's a who?
So if you guys want to hang out with me tomorrow, I'll be there at 2 p.m. and then I'll be talking with Matt Hunt on Realnesss at 6 p.m. probably. And yeah, definitely, Big Brother Canada at 10:15. So yeah, lots of things finishing up tomorrow. Today, the challenge is done. Oh my God, we have 10 more comments and then it'll be concluded. We can be like a conductor. So Nelly says, how do you feel about Aneesa defeating Amber M?
At the reunion?
Like kind of like calling her out or just kind of.
I mean, I thought that how Aneesa stated a lot of things were very calm, very factual, and hopefully people could hear her what she was saying. I thought she held herself really well at the reunion. I don't remember that specific moment though. Yeah. Did I write it down? Did I write it down? I might have, but I don't know. What do you think about Devin versus Nani? I mean, I think that Nani and Devin could be a sleeper hookup. I think.
Oh yeah, because I did hear that she's now single.
Yes, I heard that too.
Thank God.
On 37, she'll be single, and because Devin. Okay, it's just the thing. Funny guys, doesn't matter what you look like you get the girls. So she is entertained by him. He makes the time go by quickly. He's funny. And so I know they're trying to have that little beef thing, but then she's like, I can't be mad at this guy because he's funny. So I wouldn't be surprised if single Nani gets kind of looped into a little bit of a Devin take.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I stand. What do you guys think of Jay versus Josh?
I hated that whole thing because Josh saying, I always had a bad feeling. There was no reason for the bad feeling because even when Jay lied, it wasn't to your detriment because you didn't lose or get screwed over. Like, he didn't lie about Josh. Like, it had nothing to do with Josh. I don't know. I just feel like Jay made one poor decision for his game, influenced by his partner, and everyone is still crucifying him for it. And to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, he acknowledged on the show in the confessionals, he goes, I feel like I'm making a mistake here. Like, he acknowledged that he shouldn't have maybe done that so early. And maybe he should have not lied in that moment. Like, why do we got to hate on him so much?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was
just they don't have the balls to make big moves. And so they get mad at people that make a big move that they're not privy to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whack. Okay, will this be the last Wednesdays with you ladies go live? I think so, for at least a couple weeks. Obviously, as preseason for the Challenge 37 comes, we might figure out a couple of different types of podcasts to do. We might do we start doing our drafts. We have it locked in. We'll do a men's night and a women's night. So that was definitely going to be closer to when we get an air date. So yeah, definitely not next week, but if we think of something maybe in the weeks coming ahead, we'll do something else, but not next week, guys. I know it's a sad, sad day, Jose. I don't think Fessy would succeed with CT either, mostly because I think CT would probably deck him. No, it's probably true. It's probably true. That would actually make my day. I got everyone saying how Nam was afraid of Lolo. I mean, she sucks though. I would be afraid of just if she's gonna pop off and blow up irrationally. It's just it's having someone volatile like that is very unsettling. So I think it's more unsettled as opposed to actually scared. Lolo is unhinged, so I can see why Nam would be scared of her exactly. Fanta, I hate the Paul brothers too, but I would be amused to watch Darrell punch either of them.
Oh, I'd love that. I would love for anybody. I know that I can't remember. I can't really. I don't know which one's which, but One of them is like fighting Floyd Mayweather soon. And I just want Floyd to body him, whichever brother that is.
I don't know who's
the
who.
brother that doesn't take it as seriously, I think. To be honest, I don't know. They're both the same to me, but
yeah.
Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there, Jose. We're still waiting to be approved officially by YouTube. So obviously everybody's still subscribed, still sending your screenshots to Reality Realness with 3 S's because I'm not doing the draw yet until I am approved. So you still have time to get in those subscription if you want to be entered in the draw to win a $100 gift certificate. To Amazon. Hi, Tyreek. Okay, I feel like Josh really was trying to say Jay was untrustworthy because Josh wanted to go against Jay in elimination and need an excuse. Oh my God, absolutely. He absolutely wants a reason to be like, oh, I just want to like get my hands on him. Like it's kind of like how Rogan had to make that fake excuse that he's talking to D. Like it's people that are pathetic. They're trying to take on someone smaller, but feeling like they're justified. Yeah, I agree. Whack. Bachelorette recap. Yes, that will be happening with Tanya. We will probably get on that soon. At the end of May, we'll probably come on. We'll do a cast assessment, talk about all the gossip that's going on with the Bachelorette. So that'll be the last week of May. We'll probably get on the Bachelorette train with Tanya. Well, ladies, am I going to get a little bit teary-eyed like Leroy and his final jaunt on the challenge? Oh, it's been half a year.
It has. I mean, I guess I don't feel that sad because like All Stars is so great and, we still have that going.
Catch us on Friday.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
I love talking to you guys about All Stars. It's super fun. So, yes, hang out with us for there if you guys are watching that. How do we send in screenshots? To Reality Realness with 3 S's. So like once you subscribe, so if you figure out a way to subscribe, just show your subscription with just so I know who it is, so I know who I'm going to put into the draw. And then I will do a live draw with all the names.
It's at Gmail, right?
Yeah, at gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
3 S's. Yes, at gmail.com. You can do that there. If you send it to me on Twitter or even Instagram, I will find it and I compile all of them together. And so we will be doing the draw very soon. So hopefully within the next month, everything will be official and we can get this party started. So yes, please do so. But get your friends, family to do it if you want a shot at the $100 US Amazon gift card. So now it's time to say goodbye. Is that it? That's so sad. We're going to miss you guys until Friday.
Until Friday. And you know what? This season was very long, as you said, like half a year.
So
and,
21 weeks together, babes. 21 weeks.
Like I'm ready to move on from this chapter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a ride. I'm definitely loving everybody that I've been meeting, and I believe you guys are as well in the chat. We love having all these conversations with you. So let's just move it on over. Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Let's talk about All Stars. It's super fun. Always brings a smile to our faces. The music is great on All Stars. Everything you want in the challenge happens on All Stars. So join us for our recaps about that on Fridays at 10. We love you too, Liz. Is that it? Do we have anything else, guys? It's over. It's over. Bye, guys.
Bye.